Yes, sir, Mr. Richard. I'm sure glad to hear that. We broke even. You don't owe me nothing, and I don't owe you nothing. Sharecropping is a bitch. I've been reading The Warmth of Other Suns by Isabel Wilkerson, and I just started it, and I've been thinking of this image. I never really learned about this in school, so I'm trying to educate myself, and as the way the book bans are going, the next generation of students might even know less about this than we do. Sharecropping is one of the things that happened immediately following slavery. It was a system of exploitation that was not quite as bad as enslavement, but for many people effectively the same. So far, I'm only 2 stickies into this book, but it seems like the author is pointing to the difference between discrete variables and continuous variables. I know it's nerdy, stick with me. A lot of things in life are not like light switches, but more like thermostats, not on-off, but uncountably infinite values. A lot of Americans, because of the way that we are taught, think of slavery as a discrete on-off switch. But the reality of the Reconstruction era, at the Great Migration, of sharecropping, prove that it is more, or at least lend credence to the idea that it is less like a switch being flipped on and off, and more like a dial being turned across decades or centuries. And sorry not sorry for being persnickety about these sorts of things, but we actually can say prove, not just lends credence. The Emancipation Proclamation was in 1863, but the real end of slavery was not until 1865. So there existed in history a 2-year period in which the existence of slavery was neither on nor off, proving that it was a continuous, not a discrete variable. So it is logically valid to argue that the dial was continually being turned after Juneteenth and into the era of Reconstruction, the Great Migration into the Jim Crow South. As a bit of an aside, a lot of Americans think of racism itself as a discrete variable as opposed to a continuous variable. This is very convenient for white people. If someone is called out for hiring discrimination or policing discrimination or healthcare discrimination or digital discrimination, which is a thing, or realty discrimination, we say, hey, you did a discriminatory thing. You're a little too far up to the right there on the discrimination dial. They go, whoa, I'm not racist. Categorizing racism as a discrete variable as opposed to a continuous variable is a category mistake, a logical fallacy used as plausible deniability.